Tiny Tarot, hey, what have you got to say today? I am low-key magical with a K, and I am here with my sassy little deck of tarot cards, back once again to answer the hard questions, the pertinent questions, the questions that you don't see other tarot readers face, because it's not, hey, you're going to win the lottery every week, but I wish we could win the lottery every week. That would be so much fun. But I am back after quite a hiatus, and that leads us to the topic of this Tiny Tarot podcast. Remember, we are on currently YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. So you can find my short forms on some of those platforms, and you can find the long form podcasts like this one here on YouTube. Excellent. So what are we looking at today? Well, we are talking about the comeback after the setback. Don't you feel like that's perfect? All of us have had setbacks in our lives. And sometimes we get in that rut where we don't see the comeback as a possibility anymore. Trust me, I have been there. I've had a couple of unexpected and very painful hospital stays, still walking with a cane now. However, I am walking again, and that's fantastic. So I wanted to look at Tiny Tarot's take today on the comeback after the setback, and we're going to get right to it. I am dividing this stack, pre-shuffled tarot cards, into three, and we're going to use a little dice today to determine which one to pick, and it comes up with a 3. So we're going to pick the third of the stack, and let's see where we start. Tiny Tarot, hey, talk to me about the comeback after the setback. And in our current position, well, look at that. We have the Page of Swords. And of course, that is a new beginning. That is a new beginning in thought process. Our swords represent our thoughts and our beliefs. They're very fast moving. And the Page of Swords is now on a journey. He's got a new sword. It seems a little bit heavy for him. And he, in the long term, the Page wants to be the knight. He wants to be that fast moving, powerful energy. But at this point, he's just kind of starting out with an idea. And that is absolutely perfect. The comeback after the setback comes with a change in mindset. It has to, because you must shift from I am on a downward trajectory to, okay, let's shift our thoughts to that upwards trajectory now. And sometimes that gear shift is the most crucial and seems to be the most difficult for those of us who have been through a serious setback. But Tiny Tarot says, here's where you are right now. Hold that sword and hold it proudly, even if it seems a little bit heavy, because this is the most important step. Me taking the step to turn the camera back on and do a Tiny Tarot podcast for you was a huge step. There was a period where I couldn't even stand to wear jewelry. And I love my jewelry, but I couldn't even stand to do that because everything on me hurt so terribly. But right now, I'm back. I'm doing the things that feel better for me. I'm taking steps at a time. I'm not making myself deliberately uncomfortable. You take the next step when it presents itself to you, when you know you are ready to do so. And that's where the Page of Swords comes in. He's not dragging that sword behind him. It's heavy. He's not hurting himself with it, obviously, but he's got his face towards the future, and he is doing some heavy lifting to get himself to that next step. Now, I'm not going to say that I'm not going to cry during this one, but it is very personal for me. So I really like that that's the first card that we received. We did great with that one. And the next card is the Seven of Wands. And this is a card of defensive posture. Now, remember, our wands are the work that we do in the world. And this is in our crossing energy position. So what are you coming up against? Well, you're coming up against the pushback of everything that's happened to you and everything that you've done up to this point. And sometimes those around you who care about you and want to see you do better They're not always going to be 100% supportive when you begin to take those next steps towards your healing, towards your comeback. You may have to say, look, I am ready for this. I have done the work. It is okay that I'm putting the jewelry back on and turning the camera back on. I'm ready for it. And when you speak with that confidence, when you are ready for a next step, it will make it much easier for you. This is also about internal resistance. Maybe you have some resistance about, my setback is where I am now. This is going to be my new life. This is just going to be how it is. I'm never going to be comfortable in my own skin again. Maybe now I'm too old to start again, too sick to start again, too discouraged to start again. I've backslid too far in whatever your goals were. And you have to overcome, once again, a little bit of a mental block. But the wands are the work that we do in the world. And the way that we begin to turn around the internal negativity is by taking physical action, even if it does feel like we have to push against ourselves just a little bit. When you're ready, when you know that you're well enough, but telling your mind that you will be there, we will be there. I may not be back to where I was, doing my 3 to 5 mile hikes. I may not get back there, but I know that I will get close, and I know that new goals will present themselves to me on my way. So even though it does feel like there's some pushback there externally and internally, taking that strong, determined, confident stance is what we need to do next. That makes a lot of sense to me. Now, in our shadow position, we have the Page of Pentacles, earth energy, and once again, starting out brand new. And the shadow is something that we haven't really wanted to look at up to this point. It's something that we are thinking, oh, well, that's not something that I even took into consideration. And the page has this pentacle that he's holding. Again, it's just one, just like with that Page of Swords. So it's the beginning of a journey. But I feel in this position, it is, let's look at what you still have and the support system that you already have in place and those things that are going for you exactly where you are. Fantastic, Tiny Tarot. I love that. And I know that a lot of people say, well, you've got to sit down and practice gratitude. I don't even like that word gratitude. It's been so misused in my experience. What I like to look at it is, what have I got going for me right now? What assets do I have currently that are working for me that I might not even be able to see that? It can be financial assets, but for the most part, it can be where you had built yourself to before the setback. And you may feel like that entire mountain of work is gone, but you would be wrong, because you can sift back through the rubble, so to say, and find those gems. In my case, I did a lot of going back through previous videos and finding those gems, finding work that I was really proud of and being able to say, you know what, I feel like I could do this again. I feel like I could turn the camera on again. I feel like I could take a partner with me and do some small hikes, some small walks even, just to get myself to remember how good it felt when I was at my peak of fitness, how good it felt when I was at my peak of health, without unrealistic expectations and without putting giant heaps of regret on top of that. Ooh, Tiny Tarot, thank you. That's where the shadow comes in. We may not want to look at previous successes prior to our setback because it hurts a little bit. It hurts to look at those when you are in the mindset of, and I will never have that or do that again. But in this case, if you look realistically and you look with inner pride, I want to say, what do you have that you have built that you can be proud of? And it may not even be the things that are in the direction of your goals. It could be an incredibly supportive family. It could be fantastically beautiful grandkids, either here or on the way. It could be things that you've written before, photos that you've taken before. that really put you back into a creative mindset, to be an artist again, to be a singer again, to be an active member of your family again, to be up on your feet again, spiritually or physically. Going back through the things that you have been putting off reviewing, because to you it seemed like this will cause me nothing but regret. You can find gems within that pile of rubble 100%. And you can say, you know what, this that I made, this was good. I am proud of this. And I could do something like that again, or close to that again, or pick something completely different and make something beautiful again. Thank you, Tiny Tarot. That feels like that was a really good one. In the assisting energy, oh, okay, not gonna cry. We've got the Nine of Cups. And you know, I've told a story about the Nine of Cups before. Here's the way I see it. I imagine this man is a baker, and he's been baking his entire life, baking wonderful cakes for parties, baking wonderful breads for meals, baking excellent pastries for breakfast, and everyone loves the work that he does. And someone comes to him and says, hey, we're going to have the biggest party that we've ever thrown, and you are so fantastic at what you do that we want you to be the one that caters this party. So he goes all out and does his very best. And when he gets to the party, he realizes that the party was actually for him. It was all of these people that he served all his life, and they are showing love and gratitude to him. It's also a card of incredibly good luck. So this is, you do not realize how much assisting energy is already there for you. You are not alone in this. And this feels like a personal message for me too. You are not alone in this. You have no idea how many in this physical realm and also in your spiritual ancestral realm, how much energy you have flowing in the direction of gratitude and love for you. You are not doing this alone. And I also have to say, a setback is not a punishment. A setback is a natural buildup of energy, and sometimes we have, how do I put that, challenges to face. You do not have to think that leading a spiritual life, and some of us have been misled this way through religious teachings, that if you follow these teachings, you'll never have anything bad happen to you. If you are really a good spiritual person, you won't experience setbacks. And that's just straight up not true. Setbacks are a part of the natural ebb and flow of life. And we sometimes don't see them coming. And we sometimes do not expect the severity of the setback. But we do not have to live our life in fear of them. And we do not have to live our lives thinking that we are alone in the process, especially in the comeback process. Okay. So, wow, that is really, that one's a good one. The Nine of Cups is such a positive card. That alone, Tiny Tarot, is like worth this entire message. I love it. Now, the resisting card, absolutely, it's death. It's the fear that everything is over. It's the fear that it's over and it's not coming back. And death is a card of change. So, of course, gosh, Tiny Tarot does not mince words. And I love that about getting these reads, even when I'm reading for myself. Sometimes it's a little hard, but the resisting energy here is the fear that the setback is it. You are over, you are done. And that is never the case with nature. Even in a forest fire, the returning growth comes back thicker and more beautiful and fed because of the disaster that happened before. The death card does not have to be a card that we dread. It's a card of new beginnings. It's a journey. Do you see how he's on a horse there? It's not an ending. It's a journey. And this is the part of the journey that we went through that looked like an end, but never is. The comeback is always there for you. It just takes continuing to plod along. This horse is not in a sprint, not at all. He's stepping, and he's stepping carefully. And once again, there's someone there observing, offering support, not alone in the regrowth process, but also remember this, not alone in the mourning process either. This card says it is completely okay to mourn what you have lost. It's completely okay to do that, but that's not where we're going to live from now on, because there will be new growth if you allow it. There will be continuing ideas if you allow them. There will be the strength and ability to push through even when it feels like you are meeting physical obstacles. There will be ideas and wonderful things that you have done previously that you will come across that will inspire you to continue. And this can come from you and from others. But either way, you can find that. And of course, like we said, in the assisting, you have more love, you have more caring, you have more respect from those around you in this world and in the behind us. I've been calling it the behind us world. In the upside down, in the spiritual realm, you have quite a bit more going for you than you even allow yourself to acknowledge, because within the body, within the mind, we feel as if we are alone. We don't have to feel that way. We can acknowledge, even if we don't completely understand, that there's a wellspring of energy there and love waiting for us. And we can also let go of this fear that it's just completely gone and that you're never, never going to regain where you were. And in our future spot, this is fantastic, we have the Emperor. The Emperor is all-knowing and basically owns everything that he can see. And the Emperor sits with sovereignty and a knowing of his power. So sovereignty is the freedom to make the choices. No one's making the choices for the Emperor. These are his choices. Your life is your experience. So even if you have heard the words, well, your life is going to be really different from now on, you're not going to be able to do the same things that you did before. Remember that you are the one who is the emperor of your individual life experience. And even within limitations, you have choices. You have the ability to choose how you think, how you want to feel, and how you move forward. And the Emperor says, own that. Find that regal power within yourself. An emperor is standing over an empire. Okay? Something that has been built over time, that he owns, and that the people that live in the empire turn and see him as the voice of direction, the voice of truth, the voice of power. Are you choosing to sit in that seat during the time of your setback comeback? Or have you taken a back seat to someone else feeding words, or seeing others that have maybe had a setback and you are comparing yourself directly to them? The Emperor has no need to compare himself to others. He gets to choose where he goes next, what he does next, and how he sees this next stage of his life. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much, Tiny Tarot. This has been a fantastic message. We've gone all the way from the Page of Swords. I have a new idea. I have a new direction. I have a new thought process that I'm working with, all the way to the Emperor, who knows precisely what step he's going to take next. And also has the power to change his mind at any moment. Didn't think about that one. Thank you, Tiny Tarot. The Emperor can just basically say, because I said so. And that involves whether he wants to take action or does not want to take action. There's something else that we have to look at here. Give me just a moment, because Tiny Tarot is giving me the message. We also have control to say no now that we didn't have before. You have the experience of the setback, and you have the ability to look at others who may be demanding things from you that you might not be ready for. And you can say, I'm not ready for that, whether it's physically or mentally. I know that the direction was this before, but now it's not going to be. I know that I had plans today, but I'm going to stay in bed because I choose to, because it's the most healthy thing for me to do right now. The emperor can choose when to move forward and when not to move forward. So even in this world of push, 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 go, 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 you must do for others, you must be this in order to be successful, the emperor says, I define my own success. I define the flow of my energy. I choose what I do day to day. And today may be a comeback day, and tomorrow may be a rest day. And that's just how the empire is going to roll, because that's what I said. Oh, thank you so much, Tiny Tarot. That's really important, because when we are moving out of a setback, remember, that's an uphill move. And no one could expect you to go full sprint every single day on the way to your comeback. Absolutely not. We are working that self-care when we talk about the emperor 100%, because he can take a day off when he wants to. He can ask for help when he needs it, because he's in charge. You are in charge of this process 100%. Tiny Tarot says it. Oh, thank you so much, Tiny Tarot. I appreciate this one so much. And thank you for being here. Thank you for sticking around. And there will be more podcasts to come, and I expect to see you there. Thank you so much. I am Low Key Magical with a K. Have a magical rest of your day.